Welcome. I know y'all ain't heard me in a while. It's been about 2 weeks. I try my best to get in the studio, honestly, and do something every day, or at least every other day. But it's kind of been hard to put something out. Just the message you want to convey. You don't want people to feel like it's solely about somebody or anybody in particular or a group of people or none of that. So I battle with that because we're all still so tight knit. It's not like y'all can't see me every day like I done blew up and moved away or any of that. And still, when that does happen, I'm still gonna be mindful of the message that I try to convey because I don't want people to look at it no way. But certain things have to be talked about. I will say I had the pleasure. Let me, kind of backtrack. I did have the pleasure of accompanying my son, man, to a basketball tournament. Shout out to the squad. We went down to Round Rock past weekend and kicked ass and did great. I was able to sit there in the lobby, kick it with the parents, have a good time, man, and learn some things and talk to some educated women, married educated women, and some husband that's just dope as hell, man. It's dope. It makes you want to be married to just see how people can coexist and how wives talk about their husbands. Also, it kind of brings me to this point of, and I know this is not all mothers, but mothers, y'all gotta stop disrespecting fathers to the kids, right? I understand. He left, I left. He may not do the best job, but let's be mindful. Let's just talk a little bit. It's times where you may not be the best version of yourself. And maybe nobody get to see it because you're in the house with the kids. But maybe the kids feel it. And that's rightfully so. You're a human. I'm not saying you're a machine. So, of course, it's times where you just feel like you probably can't keep going. And it's not fair. All the pressure that we put on y'all when we leave is not fair. All the things that we expect out of y'all are not fair. But also, the things that y'all expect out of us is not fair. Be mindful that you do make mistakes as well. Just because nobody sees it or nobody hears about it, you do make mistakes as well. I'm starting to just, more and more I'm starting to, because I talk to a lot of people, and I try not to now. I am starting a consulting business, so you will be able to pay me to talk. But no, on a serious note, but I try not to talk to so many people because I understand that I am on a platform that people do listen to, and I don't want you to be hearing this and thinking I'm talking about you and your situation. And I'm really just talking about life. But back to what I was saying as far as mothers and how y'all need to reassure these kids that the dads love them, especially, even if you have a problem with the father, even if you have disdain towards the father, even if he's not doing the greatest of job, even though you probably by yourself, and maybe the kids ain't seen the dad in forever. It's not your job to make them hate him. It's not your job. It's your job to reassure these kids that their father loved them, even if he's not being a better version of himself at that point. Be mindful that you don't always make the right decision regarding your kids. Be mindful. It's times that you're at home in that room or you just tell these kids to take this tablet. Listen, this is not no chastising towards women. I just need y'all to understand to be mindful of the things that y'all do to these children regarding us fathers. And accountability, right? Accountability needs to be taken on our end. We need to do more. I understand that, right? But what I see in life is that I can tell you how I feel about you. You won't take accountability for that. You would just tell me how you feel about me. And then now we at this bickering stage. All I'm asking, women, what could we do better? Y'all comment the most. Y'all really kind of interact with me the most. Well, in a situation now listen, because I think a lot of y'all drift away from what the initial thing is, right? Telling your kids anything negative about their father is not cool. Vice versa, right? Reassuring them kids that their father loved them is the only thing you should be doing, no matter how you feel. But my question to y'all is, what outside of, because for me, it's like the expectations y'all have for fathers that don't live with the kids is unreal. It's no way on earth that it could ever be Well, I feel like it should be 100, 100. It's no way that you can give 100% of you and I can give 100% of me and we're not in the same house. Even if we was, there's no way I can do that. Like, we don't talk about things that are logical. We just fight. We just point the finger and we don't come to a solution, right? So, ladies, what do y'all feel just as a single mother? And y'all be throwing that word around as if it means anything outside of you just being a single parent. A single parent has nothing to do with finances. It just means a person that's in a relationship. I mean, the person that's not in a relationship with nobody, or a widow, or look it up, right? Look it up. It has nothing to do with finances. It just means you're single and you're a parent. So you're a single parent. That doesn't mean you don't have a village. Stop throwing them words out there as if you're a sole provider. Totally different, right? A lot of single parents have a lot of help. A lot of single parents have villages, right? So we'll leave that alone. Let's not focus on the single parent part, because single parent has nothing to do with finances. Read the definition. Ladies, what could we do better? I know y'all have a lot of issues. And before you answer that, ask yourself, what could you do better? Ask yourself, do you purposely inflict pain on the father of your kids or your child? Ask yourself, do you even give him an opportunity to be better? Right, I was looking at something on Facebook and I found it. But ask yourself these questions. How can a man really give you the best part of him when you being so evil to him? Like, and I know this is one of them topics to where a lot of people hate to talk about it because you get so personal, you get so offended. You know, it gets so uncomfortable because nobody wants to take accountability. But I found it. I want y'all to hear this, and y'all tell me what y'all think about this, especially mothers.
So I decided to take my son's father off of child support because it was causing turmoil in our co-parenting relationship. Recently, I looked up a few places for him to get his CDL so that he could possibly start his own trucking company, or he can even carry loads and make money for himself. What I decided was, you know what, Brittany, let me change my mindset. Let me help him help us. So I decided to take my son's father.
So listen, and I know when y'all hear that, a lot of y'all be like, oh, well, if I take him out child support, he's still not going to do nothing. So at least he's not in $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 in debt. Because at some point, at some time in life, he's going to figure it out, right? At some point, and again, I'm mindful that you may not get that luxury, but accountability is you laid down with that man. You chose not to do it whatever way you felt you should have done it, meaning maybe get married first and then give yourself a sense of security so you can then have a child, right? We forget that part. Y'all skip past the part of you let this man have sex with you. You created that situation. You allowed that situation. And a lot of y'all go back to the same person that you complained about on the first child, right? All I'm saying is y'all have to take accountability. What do y'all feel we need to do to be better towards y'all? But in return, what do you feel you need to do to be better towards us? Because in order for us to be the best parents we can be, we have to get along at some point, right? So when y'all hear that and y'all hear this woman say, she figured it out. Like she, decided I'm gonna take him out child support. I'm gonna do my part. I'm gonna try my best to alleviate this part. Meaning we can't complain about child support no more because you're not on it, right? And maybe we fall short. You fall short. Like y'all be forgetting the narrative of when the father's not in the house, he has a house of his own or a home of his own or maybe a family of his own. That doesn't mean, and again, accountability goes on both ends, meaning he laid down with you, you laid down with him, you accepted whatever it was that he was presenting at the time, and you gave him all of you. End result with a child or children. That's life, right? You don't get to speed past the part of you allowed the situation. We need to have a real conversation. A real conversation, because I asked y'all, what could we do better? But then in return, I asked you, what could you do better as a mother when you present, all this evil stuff to these kids, or you in a relationship with somebody else and you're allowing this man to portray a role. like portray, and not saying it's rightfully so, right? A lot of fathers are not there, so I understand it, but it's a lot of people, and it's a lot of time fathers are there, and a lot of y'all women purposely inflict pain on that father just because y'all bitter. You look up the definition of bitter. I have a lot of resentfulness towards a person. That's not cool. A lot of built up anger. That the only way that you can get it off is through these kids. That's not cool. Or through this man. That's not cool. And then when somebody act irrational, then it's, oh, look at him. Look how he act. That's not fair. So I ask, how do we fix it? Do y'all ever take accountability? And I know men don't, right? I'm a man that does now. I didn't at first. You know, I wasn't mindful of the things and the pain that I was causing by not just doing the little things. And I'm still not doing the best job of it. I'm mindful of that, right? But you got people that'll tell you things. I ain't going to get into that. That's personal. But again, ladies, mothers, what can men do to be better towards y'all? But also in return, answer, what could y'all do to be better towards the man? You know, shout out to Brittany. And I'm not saying that situation is going to work. I'm just saying that she took the proper steps. And it ain't about the child support. It's just about her realizing that, look, this is an issue. We're going to fix this issue. Because I don't want to be arguing. See, it's a lot of the times that a lot of people just want to argue because they still care about each other. I don't want to argue. Me, personally, Dennis, do not want to argue with nobody I have kids with. A lot of the times I don't even want to talk, right? Because there's just so much, you know, built up anger. But that's not even what this is about, per se. Let's just have dialogue about that. You know, let's see what we can do better. You know, and men, we gotta ask ourselves that as well. You know, what could y'all do better? Because that's not fair. You know, and I know a lot of people ain't gonna even make it to this part because they just hear one thing and, oh, what about the men? Y'all don't never talk about the men. We talk about the men enough. You talk about the men when nobody even around to hear you talk about the men. Y'all say things to y'all kids that y'all shouldn't even say. But it's cool because you're the custodial parent, and that's not fair, right? You make it hard sometimes for a father to love on his kid because he got to get past the wall that you created. Every father is not bad. Every father is not inconsistent. A lot of mothers are inconsistent. Even though you're the custodial parent, there's a lot of mothers that's inconsistent. A lot of people that let their kids run around and look crazy. That's not a reflection of the father directly. Them kids wake up and go to sleep to you. It's his job to provide. It's his job to make it easy. It's his job to buy those clothes. It's his job, right? Because he signed up for this. It's his job. But it's also your job to do your part. It's not fair for y'all to put all the blame on men, especially when things go wrong, because you lose a job too. You lose a boyfriend too. Outside of the baby daddy, you make mistakes too. It's not fair for we to just push this narrative on these kids to make it out like the daddy is just a bad person. So I just ask, ladies, what could men do to be better to y'all? What are y'all complaining about? But in return, ask yourself and answer it. What could you do better for the man to make it easier for him to be able to co-parent with you? Accountability is all I'm asking. But until next time, y'all be cool how y'all be cool.